So if you're coming here from the previous video, you'll know that I had some pretty serious issues with crashing. I spent many hours trying to get around it, couldn't do it. So what I did is I basically took screenshots of everything and recreated most of it. I went back in and changed a few things, but everybody that was previously in the party should be here as well. So we have 94 people in total, 93 companions. Everybody's here, everybody's labeled properly. The one thing that I did do is I changed equipment. So if we go into our equipment, I made a couple different types of sets. I made a specific set for any cavalry that we have, our equite. A little bit different on our main character, but that's, you know, pretty obvious. Now, the equite, similar setup as far as weapons go. So I crafted the pila, as well as the two-handed mace. We call it the Mars bar. And then obviously we've got a really nice set of armor here. And then we gave some really good mounts and whatnot. So that's all of our equite. Our front line, our hastati. These are going to be still using the biggest dickus, as well as the Nero's finger, which is a short sword. So this is specific to this time period. So I'm trying not to use anything that's not originally part of this time period. We also have, everybody's got the scudum. And then again, a custom set of armor, specifically ignoring stuff from the base game, only taking things from the Roman era and items that we would have been using if this were real life. So Spartacus defeated a lot of Roman armies along the way and basically reused all the gear that he found after battle. Now we've got a custom velite unit. Same thing, 3 sets of pila and a shield and lighter armor. So we didn't go for heavy armor in this one. These are all kind of mid-tier, but they're very light. So they should be able to move around pretty quickly, although something's really heavy. It looks like the shield's pretty heavy in the body armor, but not much you can do about it. And then finally, we've got the Sagittarii, which are the archers. Otherwise, this guy's got face paint. So again, custom just for them, different from all the other armor sets that we're using. And then again, we're using bow, 2 sets of arrows, and then the Incontinentia buttocks. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. I went back and copied verbatim all of the skills that we have on our main character, but I did not go one by one in copying skills from the characters. That would have just taken an extreme amount of time. So essentially what I did is like the equite all had 250 throwing. A lot of them actually had 275. So I brought them up 250 at least. And then, you know, whatever relevant skills that they had. Most of them were 275 riding and athletics. And then as far as the hastati, I feel like the pila were a little bit too OP. So I took the javelins away from these guys. They're going to be relying mostly on polearm and one-handed, but they still have decent armor sets, so they should be okay. And then obviously the velite, they're the light skirmishers. They're the ones that have the impale perk. Now, we're not going to go too crazy on these units. We'll probably bulk up on our front line and then maybe make some special units after we get some experience with these guys. And then, of course, the archers, same thing. Everybody's kind of in that 200 range. I know a lot of the people that we had were higher than this, but I didn't want to start them back at 150 and start all over again. And I also didn't want to make them OP. I also backed down how much XP companions get since they're starting at a higher level. I don't want them to get super OP. So we backed it down to half of what it was before. So they'll level up slower, but they start out a little bit higher than, you know, a fresh recruit. So that's basically where we're at. The other thing that I did, I reinstated everybody into the kingdom. So I know we killed 2 people in the previous one. I brought them back. We're just starting over. And I also made all of these guys really, really strong. So they have 300 in every skill, and they have every perk. They have both sides of the perks. So if you look at this, every enemy noble has, well, except for Impale. Although Impale probably doesn't matter. I don't think these guys really throw javelins. But anyways, I didn't want our companions getting one-tapped. But that's literally the only thing. Everything else has been filled out. So going up against these guys is going to be incredibly tough. They're going to have extra HP in their units. They're going to have really strong combat skills. Their units are going to have, again, a lot of HP, a lot of perks, a lot of bonuses. And they also, whatever unit they assign these guys to, are going to have a ton of captain perks. So they're going to be really, really potent. And again, I did that for everybody. There were, I believe we were short 2 clans. So what I did is I made the main clan have 2 extra. So Gaius Claudius Glaber and Lentulus Batiatus is in here now with Marcus Licinius Crassus's clan. And then everybody else, the head is, you know, this guy's Pompey, We got Quintus Sertorius, and all the way down. So same group of people, same goals. We got to try and conquer all these, take them out, and that's where we're starting. So hopefully this doesn't crash. Like I said, I took out Banner Kings, and I suspect that's what was causing all the crashing, as that was the issue the last campaign that I ran, and I didn't really learn my lesson apparently. I love to waste time and beat my head against my desk. So, but anyways, we'll get there. Let's do a quick tune-up battle, just so we can get our units organized. And I also want to see these guys in action. So right now we have not enough groups. So what we're going to do is let's open this up a bit. There we go. Now we need to move everybody, which is going to take a little while, but that's not a big deal. I'll do it real quick. There we go. So everybody's sorted. We've got our front line. Now for the most part, these guys are going to be staying in shield wall. There's no reason for them to be in anything else, except for when they're moving. And it looks like I got somebody on a horse in there, don't I? Yep. So we'll have to figure out who that is and take them off their horse. We've got our front line, which is going to be skirmishing. We've got archers, which will probably throw on one of the flanks and then retreat them strategically. And then, of course, our equite. We'll go 3 ranks deep with the equite. So this looks pretty good. Let's see how everybody's looking. The front line looks really good, except for this this knucklehead on a horse. I guess I forgot to take that out. But the armor looks so good. The shields. And I did vary up the equipment, so if you look at some of their gear, it's varied. Some of the things they only had 1 or 2 options, so I didn't really vary it up too much, but the shields I varied quite a bit. The leg coverings, you can see there's a couple different kinds in there, so pretty cool. And then we've got our velite. They're ready to go with 3 sets. And then again, same thing with the archers. I tried to vary up as much as I could. There was quite a few options. I didn't want to spend too much time. And then of course our equite. All right, let's see how they do. Now, who is on the horse? That is Aeneas. So we're going to take your horse out. Well, this thing is free to the butt, and it's still going strong. The hell of a sumpter horse. Alright, so they're not wanting to push. Let's go ahead and push up. Yeah, that's a pretty intimidating shield wall. Alright, we'll go ahead and advance our velite, see how they do. Oh, here they come. And obviously we still need to protect our archers because they are somewhat vulnerable. Alright, so that worked out pretty well. Let's go see how our velite are going to handle it. Oh, not very well. They're just walking straight in. Yeah, that's really stupid. Oh, the AI. Well, good thing they can still use their javelins, or their pila is in melee mode, so that helps. Oh man, just trash these guys. I'm curious if they're accurate. Yeah, going up against a cavalry that's moving around pretty quick. Their aim seems to be off a little bit. It's not high enough. I hope that's not a thing. Maybe it's just the weird terrain, but... Alright, this guy's getting free hits. So I'm not too impressed here. I'm not sure what's going on there. Yeah, they're aiming really low. What is going on here? The archers seem to be on point. And that's not a big distance. Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on there. Okay, well, like I said, just a tune-up round. We got everything sorted out as far as formations and whatnot. So let's head over, we'll go north and see if we can get into some trouble over here. Another thing I'd like to start doing, and what I was trying to do in the last one towards the end, is take a fief. That'll draw them in, and maybe we can get some pretty cool defense, some siege defenses, but that might be tricky. We'll probably save that for later. I think in the beginning we'll just go mainland, pick people off, and then kind of come back as needed. You know, one thing I did forget to do is we didn't declare war on these guys. Let's just go attack them. Yeah, we'll just take her out, and we'll take out the militia at the same time. Yeah, here we go. So he does actually have a horse. So let's dump that. There we go. Now we got a clean line. No horse mixed in there. So we'll go shield wall. Same kind of the same setup. I'm curious to see how many archers and skirmishers they have. I probably should have looked at that before, but that's okay. And what I'm going to do is put, you know, I think they'll be pretty good protecting the archers. Let's see what they have. Now, they have very few, actually. Very few cavalry. So throw them back here behind. Now, if the archers can pick somebody off from this distance, that would be really nice. Yeah, they're getting hits on that cav. And also, I gave them 2 sets of quivers. I know in the previous one they had shoulder-strapped shields because it was something they could actually use. But without that option, I figured it'd make sense to drop the shield and just pick up a second quiver. So now they've got, I don't know, 70 shots. Actually, more than 70 shots if they have the right perk, so pretty crazy. We'll take out that cav. Alright, they finally took that guy out. So his shield... his shield absorbed probably 60 or 70 arrows. It's kind of crazy. Yeah, we'll just stay back and drop bombs on him. That is one thing that I really liked about having the RBM mod working, is the shields didn't block every single shot that you take. You know, you can only... a shield's only going to protect so much. You can still get like a top of your head or a foot or an arm or something. But not so much in this. In the base game. Sadly. Alright, so we're going to skirmish with them quite a bit. Let's go ahead and move up. Now, they've only got 1 horse left, so I don't think that's going to be too much of an issue. We do have to be careful. They are throwing back some arrows. Now, the javelins are much more accurate on this map. I'm wondering if that was specific to that previous map, because these guys are on point. They're nailing these guys. I mean, they're not killing everything, but they are hitting. Alright, let's go ahead and move them back. They're coming in pretty hot and heavy. Yeah, we'll take this guy out. Or at least take his horse out. Alright, second line of defense is coming in. We've got our Equite. So we'll pull the archers back a little bit. Alright, Velite should be going through the formation. So go ahead and get back. There we go. And our shield wall should pick up the rest. So again, not really the most impactful battle, but this is good practice for us. A little surprised at how many arrows we burned through. I don't think they really got that many kills either. Oh man, that shield, that spear wall is brutal. Doesn't look like it's doing a ton of damage, but they are hitting. Right, let's make sure our Velite are spread out a little bit better. Alright, archers can push up. We'll finish these guys off. Alright, there we go. We finished them off. Yeah, so as expected, no losses. This wasn't supposed to be, you know, a real showcase battle, but again, another tune-up. Now, it looks like the archers did an incredible job. They actually got a lot of kills. The Velite did really well. Pretty happy with this. I think, obviously, against smaller groups like this, that's kind of the plan, is to not put yourself in too much danger, but if we're fighting, you know, 2 or 3 to 1, there's no way we can take all that line out before they reach our shield wall. So we are going to have to adjust our tactics a little bit once we fight some bigger battles. Yeah, we'll let her go. She doesn't mean anything to us. Alright, now we go on the hunt. So there are some small nobles around, but I don't see the main guys. We'll just keep causing some noise here, see if we can get them to come attack us. So what I want to experiment with, my main goal with these cavalry, the Equite, is I want them to be able to take out enemy cavalry without having to necessarily engage them too much. So the goal here is to pick them off or draw them in and then use the two-handed mace if they decide to come in. Now we've got plenty of javelins, so we should be able to take them out before they even get to us. Yeah, it looks like they're not having too hard of a time with that. There's 2 cav down, they're going to send 1 over. Alright, here comes some more cav. See if they pick them off. Let them lose, boy. Yeah. They're at least taking out the horses. I mean, sometimes that's all you can ask for. Yep, they took him out too. So not too bad at all. And then obviously we can bring them into harass. I don't know if I want them in big engagements necessarily, but as a harassing force, they should be just fine. Ooh, good stop. Oh man. Arsenius got him. Yeah, very, very mobile. Extremely potent. They can't really do much about it. Yeah, they turn one way, they're screwed. They turn the other way, they're done. So, pretty good kills. But again, mostly on the archers. So it seems like the archers are going to be holding their own this time. We'll let her go. Take all the loot. We got plenty of space, and we don't really have good income. We did replace some workshops, but these don't seem to be doing too well, so... Not really a shock there, though. Not really a shock. Alright, let's see if we can find a big party. If not, we could maybe... Oh, there's Quintus Sartorius. I don't think we can get in there. Yeah, we have to sneak through... I don't think we can get in there, actually. There's Lentulus. See if we can bait them both out. Yeah, this is ideal right here, taking 2 at once. Okay, so let's take a look and see how this is shaping up. They got a little bit of cav, not a whole lot. 14 in total. A lot of range units, though. They outmatch our range units 2-1. About 81 infantry, but let's see if they're decent or not. I don't know the name of all the units, so I can't really tell just by glancing. Well, either way, we gotta fight it. Let's see. We'll take a few perks first, just in case there's any important ones. There we go. A little bit more damage on our Velite, but not really anything important there. So we do have a bit of distance before they reach us. We can kind of maneuver around a bit, maybe skirmish with our cav a bit. Kind of interesting map here. There's not a whole lot of cover. We can... Oh, there's a rock back here. Yeah, I kind of want to take advantage of the forest. So let's get our shield wall. Let's get them up here nice and in front. We'll get the Velite up front. And again, the archers can kind of be on the wing. We'll put them slightly forward. We'll get the cav up front all the way, and then we'll have them follow. We'll go on some missions here, see if we can take some people out. That should be a good formation. We'll pull back if they start to push in with their cavalry. But I think if we can take out their cav first, we don't really have to worry about them in the fights. I think that'll be a pretty good trade-off for us. The cav are still going to be pretty deadly. Even if we don't take the actual riders out, I don't really care. I just want to get them off their horse. That's the main goal here. Alright, here they come. Yeah, I mean, if we can take the rider out as well, that's a bonus. But they'll just join the shield wall. And I feel like we're going to probably do okay against the shield wall. I got to be careful. They do have quite a few archers. Let's go toss some javelins at their shield wall, just to let them know who's boss. Yeah, have fun with that, boys. Alright, so we're about 150 meters away. Let's go ahead and get our skirmishers up front a little closer. Oh, their cav actually came at us. Kind of? Yeah, here they are. Oh, gotta be careful. They're coming right here. Now, Velite, they are starting to throw. Let's go ahead and pull them back. They're actually coming in pretty fast. Actually, they're holding. Yeah, let's try and take out some of the cav. Our Velite are distracting them. Alright, let's go fire at will. Oh, looks like we lost a cav here. Come on, boys, hang in there. Now, I don't know where they are relative to our Velite. Let's just pull them back. Archers need to pull back as well. Let's actually pull the Velite back all the way. Cav are going to support. Oh, they're actually flanking. What is going on here? Alright, they're pouring it on real heavy on this side. Let's get all available hands on this side. Oh, this mace is so slow in this mod. Or without, I don't know why, actually I don't know why this thing is so slow. Yeah, we're taking some pretty heavy damage. We stopped the bleeding on this right side. Yeah, by pulling all of our available firepower, we were able to basically take them out on this side. Let's get some javelin throws in here. Alright, I think we can probably push them. Let's go ahead and push up. We'll push into them, see if we can get some good damage. Let's get our Velite up here. Alright, let's go ahead and charge them. Now, we do want to keep our shield wall up. They have some archers here. Don't really want to lose people to these archers, so they only have 3 left. They're getting picked off pretty hard. We took some pretty heavy losses here relative to what I thought it would be. I didn't think we were going to take hardly any losses, to be honest, but yeah, hopefully not too many deaths. I'm pretty sure I've seen at least 1 or 2, but let's see. Yeah, oh wow, we actually had 9 injuries. So we lost one of our Equite and we lost one of our frontliners. So Demetrius, Magni, Valoris, and Tobiah. Unfortunately, first to go in the second part of the campaign. Yeah, that's a shame. But let's take a look and see how everybody did. So Equite, once again, did really, really well. Seeing 8 kills on Julius, 7 kills on Shabardius. So pretty good. And then our frontliners, there's a lot of them, so they kind of spread out the kills, I believe. They were also loading up on one side. They were definitely not evenly spread out. Like, our middle section had nobody there, and then the left and right flanks had a ton of people. So maybe we'll have to shadow that and do 2 line formations, and then we can just adjust based on what they're doing. Let's see, the archers did pretty well. A bunch of people with 3, few with 4. We got Ricardii with 5. That's pretty strong. And then the Velite did really well. Yeah, 3 and 3. Just solid performance, nothing outstanding. But yeah, Demetrius and Tobiah, that sucks, but it is what it is. So fortunately, these guys survived the battle, so we're going to let them go. Well, first battle's done. At least we know we can hang in there with a pretty good-sized party. I mean, it was a good battle. We probably could have done a few things a little bit better, but I think overall it's not too bad. I think what we're going to do is let's head back. We'll recruit a few more people to replace, and I'd like to get our party up to about 100, and then we'll go from there. So we got 5 new people. Let's go in order. So we've got Amogus Susius, and we're giving him the same outfit. Talius Nosos, going to be part of our Equite, and then Amir de Henius, again, part of the Equite. We've also got Freon, part of the Hastati, and Hilarius Poseidonus, part of the Hastati. Now, I don't know what happened here, but all of our formations got messed up except for the Equite. So I'm going to spend a little bit of time organizing this here. All right, there we go. I think we got everybody organized. So we got our Equite on the top, Hastati next. We got our Velite right after that. And finally, our Sagittarii. There's a few perks to pick from. Let's go through them. The Velite and the archers seem to get a ton of XP, which is not really surprising. They're kind of the specialty groups that are going to do a lot of damage. And then the Hastati are just going to be the meat shield in front. Alright, there we go. Got everybody sorted. We are very close to 100, but not quite there yet. Let's go take another fight. Did it mess up my formations again? No, that looks accurate. I think that one you can organize it however you want. I think this screen right here shows what order you hired them. Yeah, because if you look right here, the most recent 5. So this is like a historical list of when these people were hired. Yeah, that makes a little sense then. So what I'd like to do is I'd like to get our cavalry. Actually, cavalry is up to 20 because we just threw 3 in there. So we just need to fix our formations. I'd like to get our Velite up to 20 as well. And then the Hastati will fill out the rest. And maybe we'll make a separate unit. Maybe something like shock troops or a different kind. Maybe not a polearm frontliner, but something else. All right, let's head out. Let's go cause some havoc. I've not seen too much over this way. Let's go back to the mainland again. Yeah, there's nobles around. They just not the ones that we're looking for. Oh, here we go. Yep, I see 3 of them maybe. Now we got to be careful because these guys are really fast. Remember, they have just as high a perks as we do. So they've got scouting at 300. They've got all that stuff maxed out. So they can probably catch us if they get too close. There's Crassus. Let's chase these 2 up here. I feel like I don't really want to go after Crassus just yet. Alright, there's a smaller noble. Yeah, I don't know what these guys are doing. They're just walking in circles. What are they doing? Alright, maybe we can bait them to come out. Let's see. I have a feeling, yeah, I was going to say, I have a feeling they're going to think they're a lot stronger. And they may actually be a lot stronger. That's a lot of units. Yeah, maybe we don't want to take on more than double our amount. That might be a tough ask. They're so fast, considering they don't even have that many cav. Alright, can we get one of them? Yeah, 117 or 123 we can probably take just ourselves without too much issue. But the question... Yeah, there we go. Okay, one of them slid off. Beautiful. Alright, make sure nobody's around. Yep, we should be good. Halt. Alright, let's go fight this guy. Now, we got to put these guys in the right place. So we've got 2 Hastati. Let's get them up there. And then we've got 3 cav. So them... So we're fairly evenly matched, and they don't have a ton of cavalry, so I'm not too concerned about choke points as much. They are chasing us, so we could throw our archers up on the hill. I think that would probably be the best choice. And then try and meet them down in the valley. It's not going to give us a whole lot of room to work with. I think we can probably screen for the archers. Yeah, we're going to have to do something fairly quickly here. Alright, here we go. Let's get our infantry up there. Alright, that's far enough. Alright, Hastati should be in range. Let's go ahead and shield wall. Alright, they're getting some damage in. See if we can deal with some of these cav. Oh man, they hurt. Alright, Belts, I need to get back. Oh, that was bad. I didn't do it soon enough. Yeah, they're getting gobbled up here. That was my bad. Alright, let's get our cav off the hill here. They should be able to get some decent shots in. Let's get our Velite over there on the flank a little bit more. Yeah, we're taking some heavy losses here, actually. I didn't think we were going to take that many, but we are actually taking quite a few. Yeah, these guys are tough. They're taking several hits. Alright, we could probably focus here a little bit better on our infantry. Let's see how we're doing. So they're still attacking. We don't need to push. Let's just let them do their thing. And stab a few of them over the top. Ooh, that's a big hit. Alright, let's deal with their cav. There we go. Alright, they're resilient, man. This line is not wanting to go away. Alright, they are getting some hits on the flank here. Let's not allow that. Yeah, I think the line is showing its weakness. The polearms, unfortunately, since we changed the RBM, it's not nearly as effective as it was. The distance is really nice to have. So maybe what we can do is we can do a mix. Maybe we take a mix of things instead of just all the same unit or the same weapon. Yeah, go grab yourself a shield. Good idea. It's pretty bloody down here. Man. I definitely messed up with the Velite. I thought I had more time. Oh, there's one of our boys. Took a peeler to the face. Wow, look at that. That is brutal. It's like right in the slit, right in the face. So, yeah, they're probably dead. We took some losses here for sure. So, oh man, we lost 4. Yeah, we lost 1 of our Velite and 3 of our frontline Hastati. And Lentulus did survive, unfortunately. We probably need to approach this differently then. I'm trying to think here. Maybe we can save the Velite instead of having them out front, or we can have them retreat as soon as they start to throw and just immediately pull them back. So they at least get some shots off. And then as soon as the lines meet, they can come over here and flank. Yeah, I'm not sure. Let's take a look and see what the kills are, and that should tell us what we did right and what we didn't do right. So the Equite did okay. Only a few of them got kills, but the ones that did actually got quite a few. So that's not too bad. Our front line, yeah, look at the front line. Only a couple people got kills. And then, of course, the archers did really well. Janus, Waltonius with 3. And then the Velite did really well. I mean, it's not too shocking because they do have Impale. So that kind of softens the enemy up quite a bit. But Junglius with 9 kills, that's a lot. Timinus with 8 and Rolfus with 7. So we'll definitely need to replace the Velite, and I think we should probably put up to 20. And then the rest will go into our Hastati. We'll probably need to get the Hastati up a little higher. We'll go above 100, I think. Yeah, man, that sucks. Losing 4 people is pretty rough. Yeah, we're going to let him go. I think if we catch somebody more than twice, we should just start executing people, because it might take a bit of time. But I don't know, we'll see. Maybe not. All right, now again, we took some pretty heavy lumps there. Let's maybe pull back a little bit. Yeah, I got to come up with a better plan for dealing with the infantry. One of the biggest issues here is that we're no longer having javelins with our frontliners, which is kind of the point. It felt a little bit too OP when they were able to knock out, 80% of the enemy before they even got close. Now it's like we can still kind of do that if we micro properly, which obviously is not something good to rely on if I'm commanding, because I tend to forget about certain things here and there, but that's all right. We will get back at it.